Hello everyone, welcome back to Jazz Inspires. I'm Joe and today we're diving deep into the sonic universe of jazz fusion. But not just any jazz fusion, we're talking about those underrated, overlooked and downright mesmerizing albums that you've probably never heard of, but absolutely need to. These are the kinds of records that never get the spotlight they deserve. Hidden gems from the 1970s, each one packed with mind-blowing musicianship, killer grooves and genre-defying creativity. So sit back, grab a cuppa and prepare to update your playlists. First up is Tropea by guitarist John Tropea. Now John's a session legend, you've heard him even if you didn't realise it. He played with Van Morrison, Paul Simon and even Deodato. But this 1975 solo album, it's a clinic in tastefully funky jazz fusion. Tracks like Tambourine and The Jingle showcase his gift for groove, effortlessly mixing jazz improvisation with rock textures and an R&B backbone. It's smooth but never boring, groovy but harmonically rich. And let me tell you, the production is buttery. If you dig George Benson's CTI years or early Lee Retenoir, then you'll absolutely love this. Now let's talk about Streamline by Lenny White, the heartbeat of Return to Forever. Lenny's solo work often gets overshadowed by Chick Corea and company, but Streamline is just phenomenal. From the opening track Struttin', you get a dose of funky synths, complex time signatures and soulful vocals. Yes, vocals. Lenny blends jazz with R&B and funk so seamlessly it almost feels like a precursor to neo soul. His drumming is both technically mind-blowing and incredibly musical. It's fusion at its most accessible but still filled with deep musicianship. Criminally underrated. Next is saxophone sorcerer Joe Farrell and his album Canned Funk. Now Joe's known for his work with the CTI label, but this one, it's got bite. The title track alone is a funk fusion juggernaut. Farrell's sax and flute work are raw, emotive, and so in the pocket it hurts. The rhythm section grooves hard and the interplay feels alive, almost like you're right there in the studio. It's adventurous but without being alienating. Think Weather Report but with more grit and more grit-driven saxophone solos. Next, the late Alphonse Mouzon, drummer, composer, fusion firebrand. Mind Transplant, released in 1974, is one of his finest works and a cornerstone of jazz fusion. This album hits hard with a blend of fiery drums, relentless grooves and electric experimentation. From the explosive title track Golden Rainbows, Mouzon's energy is infectious and uncompromising, featuring stellar musicianship all round, including fantastic keyboards and horns. Mind Transplant balances raw power and technical finesse like few other fusion albums. If you want a perfect example of fusion's adventurous spirit, this is it. Let's move to the UK now, and yes, fusion was definitely happening across the pond too. Electric Glide by Gary Boyle, former guitarist of Isotope, is an overlooked British jazz fusion classic. It's fast, fiery, and at times downright prog rock adjacent. But make no mistake, Boyle's jazz chops are on full display here. Tracks like Snap Crackle and Pendle Mist feature blistering solos, complex arrangements, and a real sense of narrative flow. It's cinematic fusion, and that title track, just wait for the build. It's a slow burn that explodes. Now here's a real hidden gem. George Duke's The Aura Will Prevail. Released in 1975, this album is a beautifully crafted blend of jazz fusion, funk, and psychedelic textures. Tracks like You're Gonna Need Me and Taurian Matador showcase Duke's impeccable keyboard work. Lush roads, cutting synths, and soulful electric piano melodies. The album flows like a story, full of dynamic grooves and adventurous solos. It's less commercial than some of his later work, which makes it a treasure trove for those seeking deep, intricate fusion vibes with a spiritual and slightly experimental edge. Next, Dutch guitar wizard Jan Akkerman, known from the band Focus, takes center stage on his self-titled solo outing. This album is incredibly eclectic, part jazz fusion, part classical prog, part experimental funk. Tracks like Angel Watch have a cinematic, ambient quality, while others dive into fiery electric fusion. Akkerman's tone is singular, both biting and warm. He's a composer as much a soloist. For anyone who thinks European fusion isn't quite as bold as its American counterpart, this one proves otherwise. Now here's one for the crate diggers. Street Lady by Donald Byrd. While Blackbird gets all the attention, Street Lady is even groovier in my book. Produced by Larry Mizell, it's funk forward, filled with creamy clavinet, head-nodding bass lines, and Byrd's crisp horn lines floating above it all. Lansana's Priestess is worth the price of admission alone. It's not highbrow jazz, this is jazz that you can dance to, but make no mistake, there's complexity underneath the grooves. Coming in hot is Heritage by trumpeter Eddie Henderson, another alumnus of Herbie Hancock's Mawandishi band. This album is a journey into jazz funk bliss with a spiritual undertone. You've got that thick, swampy groove on Inside You, plus moments of outright psychedelia and deep electric Rhodes textures. Henderson's trumpet work is both soaring and introspective. This is an album that rewards multiple listens. You peel back new layers every time. Fans of Herbie's Thrust or Miles's Get Up With It era, take note. We're closing with a lush one. Love Island by Brazilian keyboard genius Deodato. Best known for his orchestrated jazz funk hits, here he delivers a sun-drenched, disco-tinged fusion journey. The title track sounds like cruising down the coast in a convertible. It's got that cinematic, smooth but funky sheen. Deodato's arrangements are rich with layered synths, horns and strings dancing around crisp rhythm sections. This is fusion as mood-setting art. Underrated? Absolutely. Essential? Definitely. So there you have it, 10 jazz fusion masterpieces you've probably never heard of but absolutely need to have in your collection. These albums prove that jazz fusion isn't just about technical prowess. It's about emotion, groove, exploration and soul. If you've discovered something new today, let me know down in the comments. What's your favourite underrated jazz fusion album? I'm always digging, always listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time, stay inspired.